All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. The hashtag we're using is still Daybreak. We're talking about all the weekend action and everything that happened around in terms of politics and policy as well. Keep them coming. The hashtag is Daybreak at Citizen TV Kenya. Trevor Mbija, keep the tweets coming 22422. Let me read some of them right now. The feedback coming through from our viewers, and it's coming up on our screen just now from Twitter. And Ochieng Christo says, though the portrait of Kenyatta is seen, the currency should be used to curb these corrupt officials. Straight and simple. All right. Samuel says, no problem in as much as this shrewd and prudent move shall help bring order and sanity in our monetary and fiscal matters, stabilize the economy as well. All right, still have another one. Abdallah says, I don't think the change of notes will help Kenya because the big situation in our country is politicians, leaders, plus cartels, and all of them are executive officials. Another one here from Ken Sanctum says, the 1,000 note should remain as it was previously. CBK should not demean the picture of the founding father of this nation, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Cosmas Kiplimo says, just to ask Sifuna and Otiende, I like the way they speak about fighting corruption, but why do they come to defense of corrupt judicial officers when they're arrested? A case with DCJ Mwili is another one. Is that not defending corruption? All right. You'll respond to that in just a bit. Abdallah Ismail from Kisumu says, I'm saddened by the fact that we Kenyans read mischief in everything. Politicians fail to implement our new constitution fully, and Wanainchis have equally failed in their part by not showing concern by the delays. It's time now we sober up and do what is right for this great nation. All right. Still have another one here. Jay Mutar says, let them return the money so that it will be in circulation for businesses to grow. Otherwise, it is naive to keep money at home in sacks. And we have Justus Mbiu says, the constitution is very clear, depicts use of image, but what we have is a statue, not an image. Wondering why the professionals in the panel cannot pick that. This is a statue, not an image. All right, Honorable Tiende, a very brief response to that.
It's an image of a statue. Trevor, if we produced a bust of your face, and then we took a photograph of that bust, that is an image of you. I mean, it is just common sense. The question has been posed as to why we appear to defend people. I think, I suspect the question was asked in our professional capacity.
Yes.
I will let Otiende Amolo speak for himself, but on this particular issue of the DCJ, ours was to sound a warning that indeed the investigative agencies in the office of a DPP, when they are going about investigating and initiating prosecutions for corrupt suspects, they must follow the law. And in fact, it is saddening that what we suspected has come true, because the court has found that in the instance of the DCJ, the investigators actually broke the law, so that they were obtaining evidence illegally. And we all know it's a legal principle that illegal evidence cannot be used in a case, so that the person who is now at a loss is the Kenyan who would have wanted to know whether really there was any truth into the allegations of corruption on the part of the DCJ. But now we will never know, because that evidence can never be tendered anywhere. And this is what we were trying to do. This is our responsibility as citizens, as even practitioners of law, to make sure that the processes that precede somebody being arraigned in court are clean, are processes that can stand the scrutiny of the courts and of the law. So it's not about us defending any person or defending the corrupt. I think we were unanimous on this panel this morning that really what we want to see is the seriousness on the part of the investigative agencies. That somebody said that if you are given 5 years to cut down a tree, take the 4 years to sharpen the axe, so that when you come, you actually know what you're doing. Okay. Yeah.
I can take that guy for lunch.
Why?
The guy who have asked that question. I'll just give you 4 examples. Charity Ngiru, you know, when she was working with in the Uhuru government, she was corrupt according to these guys from ODM. When she crossed over to their side, she's clean, she's perfect.
I don't think we have
Musalia Mudavadi, according to Raila Odinga's own speech, sometimes back, munajua nani alikula shamba ya cemetery? The most corrupt man who corrupted what? Is Musalia Mudavadi. When he moves over to NASA, he's mweupe kama pamba. William Ruto was their darling when he was working with him. yeah, 207. Now he's, you know, he's a portrait of a thief in this country. And now Mwilu, yeah, has got another set of standards for her. You know, evidence acquired illegally, investigators not in the right. You know, really, me, I'm saying we need to reset factory settings in this country. And how to reset factory settings is, let's all of us face reality. And let's not be selective about these things. And let's not start our discourse with some preformed assumption. And I think the way that the ODM people have gone on the Mwilu case, I'm glad it's not only us as leaders who can see that, but even the common man can see.
Otiende.
Since declaring his presidential ambition, my brother Moses Kuria is given to very interesting utterances. He was saying that if Raila had been given the opportunity to speak in Narok, he should also have been given. So now he's putting himself at that level. I wish you well. I wish you well. I wish you well. And I'm also waiting to hear your declaration of which party you will vie on. Having said that, first of all, let's get the facts right. Let us start with the question of the image of the president. The Constitution forbids the use of a portrait. If you check the meaning of portrait in any ordinary English dictionary, it includes any representation. It includes even an engraving. And there is no doubt at all, therefore, that that statue of the president is a portrait, because it's a representation of him. So the person who's commenting that we should understand this, you know, I think really they might want to check the meaning of portrait. Secondly, it is not about demeaning the founding president at all. No one has complained and no one reduces the standing of the founding president of this country, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. The only issue is, for some reason as Kenyans, we decided that we did not want the image of any person on the notes. And we did that, and in 2010, by 68%, we passed that constitution. So if we made that decision, then all one is saying is, let's live by it. If we wanted otherwise, we could have changed it. Third, I did not, and I have not so far represented DCJ Mwilu. So the commentator might not have known that. And my brother Moses Kuria might know that those who have represented DCJ Mwilu have gone there as advocates, not as ODM.
But he's also brought up the issue of double standards. Where the
there's no question of double standards.
Before, now they're on your side, you're okay.
Edwin Sifuna has said this very clearly, which is this. When we say that we must fight corruption, it does not mean we can employ illegal means to fight that corruption. Because then that in itself is corruption. Corruption must be fought legally. And if we start bending the law, then we are no better than what used to happen in what we usually call the Dark Moi era. When you'd be arrested, you'd be tortured, you'd even be made, they would do all sorts of things to extract confessions and to extract evidence. That cannot be the way to fight. Corruption must be fought, but it must be fought legally. Now, everybody and anybody who is corrupt must be prosecuted. Now, Moses Kuria, it is not the job of ODM to prosecute or to declare who is corrupt and who is not corrupt, because there's the ESCC, there's DCI, there's DPP. So you can't start saying that the ODM cleared Ngilu, ODM does not clear anybody. That is not part of their task. And lastly, to my brother Kositat,
but you
when we were talking about the deputy president, then he was saying that maybe ODM is trying to create that position. We are not trying to take the position of deputy president. As we have always said, as a party, we aim to capture power legally and to do the things the right way, and to save the lamentations of my brother here. What then all those observations you made, Moses Kuria, you should then pray that ODM forms government so that we can better manage all those things you are pointing out.
Speaking of reading
can I just add one thing that Moses Kuria raised? First of all, Moses, you know that character traits change. People acquire habits. It is possible that, you know, you and me knew each other back then. But in the last 5 years, there were some things you used to do, and I used to wonder if this is the same Moses. So even people who might have been members of ODM at some point, maybe they did not have the thieving ways those days. But since they had a brief encounter with public resources, we have seen them change. So it is possible for people to change. It is possible that when they were with you, they were doing all sorts of things, but when they come to our side, because, you know, when you go through a laundry, you cannot just live the same, because we will clean you, because you will be around people of integrity, and they will not be, you know, birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, so it is possible that when you come and hang out with people of integrity like myself and Otiende, you will leave behind your thieving ways. And it's also fortunate or unfortunate that some of the best legal brains in this country are associated with ODM. So when people are in trouble, they always rush, and I'm sure Moses has had the benefit of ODM lawyers before. I don't like to say that term ODM lawyers, because when people see Otiende in court defending somebody, they think there's a letter from headquarters seconding him to that case. When they see James Orengo, they are individual capacities as advocates, and they practice in this city, and it shouldn't always be seen that they are ODM lawyers.
Okay.